You ever just look up at the night sky and think, how did we get so lucky? Is our planet just a cosmic lottery win, or is there something more to it? Well, today we're diving into an argument that says our existence is no accident at all. The evidence it claims is literally all around us. So, where do you even start with a question that big? The source material we're breaking down today doesn't shy away from it. It gets right to the point and asks this really profound question. Is there any real evidence that our planet was, well, designed? And let me tell you, the source does not beat around the bush. The answer it gives is pretty confident. It says there's abundant evidence. Now, that is a bold claim, right? So, okay, let's dig in. What is all this evidence? Okay, so the whole foundation for this argument is built on a really simple but kind of perfect metaphor. You've probably heard it before. The source calls Earth the Goldilocks planet. You remember the story, right? The porridge wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, it was just right. And that is the exact idea here. The argument is that everything about our planet, from the temperature to the air we breathe, is perfectly balanced. This just right idea, it's the key to the whole thing. So, the very first just right thing is our location, our cosmic address, you could say. It's what scientists call the habitable zone. And really, when you boil it all down, it's about one thing: making sure the temperature is right for liquid water to exist. And according to this source, liquid water is the absolute, non-negotiable starting point for life. But, being in the right neighborhood is just the beginning. That's just step one. The argument goes way deeper than that. It points to a whole bunch of other conditions right here on Earth that it claims are also perfectly and maybe even improbably fine-tuned for us to be here. All right, so we've got our location sorted, but the source says there's more. We're talking about 4 other critical things: the actual mix of gases in our air, the way our planet tilts on its axis, how fast it spins, and this amazing magnetic shield that protects us. Let's break them down one by one. First up, the very air we breathe. It's this incredibly delicate cocktail of gases. The source points out that if our oxygen level was just a little bit higher, the whole planet would be a tinderbox, prone to massive, uncontrollable fires. A little bit lower, we couldn't even breathe. It's another one of those just right scenarios. Next, let's talk about our planet's tilt. You know, that 23.5-degree lean? That's not just some random number. The source calls it the engine that drives our seasons. Without that specific tilt, the argument goes, you wouldn't get the gentle progression of seasons that lets life thrive all over the globe. And what about how fast our planet spins? The length of our day is something we totally take for granted, right? But the source says this is another one of those perfectly balanced things. So what if it was different? What if it was faster or slower? Well, this is where that Goldilocks idea comes right back into play. The source says if Earth spun way too slow, our days would be scorching hot for ages, and our nights would be unbelievably frigid. On the flip side, if it spun too fast, we'd be dealing with constant, destructive hurricane-force winds. So our 24-hour day, it's supposedly the perfect sweet spot between 2 totally disastrous extremes. And for the last one, the source points to something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction: an invisible force field. It's our magnetosphere, and its job is to protect the whole planet by deflecting this constant storm of deadly radiation from the sun and deep space. The argument is simple. Without that shield, life as we know it just couldn't exist on the surface, period. Okay, so let's recap. We've got the perfect location, the perfect air, the perfect tilt, spin, and a protective shield. The source takes all of these separate, just right conditions and pulls them together for its big conclusion. And this is where the argument really pivots. It's not just about the odds of one of these things happening. It's about the probability of all of them happening together, on the same rock, at the same time, all by random chance. What are the odds of that? So what are those odds? Well, the source doesn't mince words. The chances of all these delicate factors lining up just by accident are described as astronomically small. We're talking mind-bogglingly tiny. And that's the final piece of the puzzle. The source looks at that incredibly tiny probability and says, that can't be a coincidence. To have so many things go just right, well, in its own words, a setup this perfect screams design. So there you have it. That's the Goldilocks planet argument from start to finish. It's a perspective that really challenges us to see our world not as just one in a billion, but as a truly extraordinary exception. And it leaves us with this final thought-provoking question to ponder. What does it really mean for conditions to be just right?